Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about cursing as non-inclusive speech. So I had this idea a while ago, and I'm really starting to really double down on this idea that cursing is incredibly non-inclusive speech. It's exclusive speech, right? It excludes people. It excludes large groups of people, and it excludes people that the people who are using cursing never expect they're excluding, right? So the reason why I'm talking about this today is I recently watched an absolutely amazing YouTube video by Jiguk, G-I-G-G-U-K, okay? And this guy is an anime expert, absolutely knows anime from back to front, absolutely brilliant commentator on anime. And he did a video on Mecha, the rise and fall of giant robots. It's almost 20 minutes long. It's spliced together so it has pictures from all these animes, and it shows the arc of anime from Gundam to Code Geass. Manzinger's in there, and Gunbuster, and these aren't in order. They're in the order in the actual anime, in the actual YouTube video. And he talks about all of it, Gurren Lagann, like all the biggies, and he goes chronologically through, and he shows you the rise of mecha anime, the peak of mecha anime, the clarion call to the fall of mecha anime, and then the fall of mecha anime, and then even the future of mecha anime. He talks about the future. This is one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen in my life, right? And I was blown away. It was wonderful because it was winsome, right? We're going to get to the cursing part. It was winsome, and so it had this wonderful entertaining quality to it, but then it also had this this scholarly depth, right? Like it sounded like a professor had written it, and he might be a professor, but and so it was both, right? But 3 times in the anime he uses I think 3 or 4 times in the anime he uses the F word. He just and big giant robots are effing cool, and when he's saying it, he doesn't realize that this is a record scratch for many, many, many people, right? And the other thing is, and I was just shocked how it takes this inclusive property, right? This property, this intellect, this creation, this creative piece of art, and knowledge and information, this wonderful element that could be shared to grow the hobby, and then just puts it on a chain and yanks it back by the neck, right? And because basically when I got done with this mecha anime, right, I was like, oh my gosh, I want my my 11-year-old son and I want my 13-year-old daughter to watch this, right? And then they're going to understand why I love mecha anime. But I'm like, oh man, there's 3 words and 3 words that say, nope, done. This is only for hardcore anime fans who like cursing, right? And I'm like, oh man. When I was done with it, I was like, oh my gosh, my parents, I used to get up at 7 in the morning to go watch Star Blazers, which I know isn't a mecha anime, but I'm like, I could give this to them and they can understand my love for mecha anime, right? So I'm like, I can give this to my parents, right? Nope, because it's got 3 F words in it, unshareable, right? And, and then the other thing is, there are people in my church, right? I'm like, hey, we've talked recently and I told you that anime was cool, right? And they're like, oh, isn't anime that weird stuff that comes out of Japan? And why are you watching that, right? And this thing really did such a great job of showing what's awesome and wonderful about anime. And then, and I was excited and I wanted to share it with other people outside our community, but because it's got 3 F words in it, nope. Can't be shared with anybody within my faith-based organizations, right? And it's just like, and there's people at work. There's people I work with, right? Nice gentlemen, nice ladies I work with. I would love to just shoot this link to them on there, because I am connected to a few people from work, right? It's got this F word in it. I can't share it with them, right? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's ruined. I really feel in many ways, Mecha, the rise and fall of giant robots is ruined by 3 words in this creative element, right? And so really what I'm saying is, as a culture and as a society, we need to abandon swearing, right? And the reason why is, what happens is when people swear, right, and they curse, they think it's a normal part of conversation. It's not. It breaks down communication professionally. It breaks down communication for many people who are faith-based. It breaks down communication for people who are on the younger end of the curve or on the older end of the curve. And it makes something that's wonderfully inclusive and wonderfully shareable, and it yanks it back by a leash and says, this cannot be shared. This stays where it is. This is for the hardcores in the community. This is for the community of the idea it was spoken about, and it cannot go further. It cannot be spread further, right? And and I think the person who made this is thinking, oh, I'm going to give it a little spicy punch, right? And, if maybe they get a 3% benefit for a small group of people, but there are entire groups who the product becomes unwatchable for, unshareable, right? And I was so struck by how incredibly inclusive this product was, and how quickly it was ground to a halt by just a few curse words in it. And so, my point is, if you're creating content, abandon curse words. It makes your product non-inclusive, right? It makes your creative element, it makes your art non-inclusive. And it is sad and it is frustrating to me that people aren't getting this, and they don't realize that not everybody uses the F word every day in their speech. It's just not normal. I don't want to say normal. Actually, I think in some ways it is normal. Let me roll that one back. It's not helpful. It is not helpful. And it makes your wonderfully inclusive piece of art, your creative element, your product, it grinds it to a halt. It stops its momentum. So let's abandon curse words. Take care.